Hello class, hope you enjoyed the last activity, moving for 10 seconds. It's always good to get out of the class for a little bit of time, so hopefully you enjoyed that. For this next activity, we are going to be considering other people and how fast they go. So here we're talking about Lynn and Diego, and both of them ran for 10 seconds, each at their own constant speed. Okay, so they're constantly going at the same speed. Okay, so if Lynn ran 40 meters and Diego ran 55 meters, we want to use that information to answer the following question. So for number one, it says, who was moving faster? Well, and we want to explain why. Let's see here. So if they both ran for the same amount of time, they both ran for 10 seconds. Lynn made it 40 meters. Diego made it 55 meters. Okay, so if they both ran for the same amount of time, then the fact that Diego went further means that Diego was going faster. Okay, so we can say that Diego covered more ground in the same amount of time as Lynn, so he went faster. All right. For the next item, how far did each person move in 1 second? Okay, so we've done some activities where we find out the cost for one item, right? And so if we want to find out one of something, we're just going to divide it by the number of those things that we are given the information for. So here, we're given the number of meters in 10 seconds. So if we want to find out for 1 second, we're going from 10 to 1, so we're going to divide by 10, which is the same thing as multiplying by 1/10. So if we're going to divide by 10, we need to divide both of these by 10. We need to take Lynn's time, 40 divided by 10. So in your text box, we want to make sure we're clear on which person we're talking about. So we'll talk about Lynn first. Lynn, it was 40 meters divided by 10 seconds. Okay, so I will put meters, M for meters and S for seconds. And that equals, so what's 40 divided by 10? You can see 0 and 0. I can cancel those. It's 4 meters per second. So for Diego, we can actually just stretch this out and come over here and talk about Diego. Diego, it was 55 meters in 10 seconds. And so that means 55 divided by 10, that's going to be 5.5 or 5.5 meters per second. Okay, so we keep this in mind and we want to think about what this means. We already know Diego went faster. He was going 5.5 meters per second while Lynn was going 4 meters per second. So that's very valuable information. Number 3 says use your data from the previous activity to find how far you could travel in 10 seconds at your quicker speed. Well, you all have different times, so you're going to have to refer back to your previous sheet, slide 2 here, to be able to compute your own time in 10 seconds. Okay, and then for number 4, it says Han ran 100 meters in 20 seconds at a constant speed. Is this speed faster, slower, or the same as Lynn's, Diego's, and yours? So 100 meters, boy, that sounds like a lot, right? That's more than 40, and it's more than 55. But you can see here, this is over 20 seconds. And their times were only over 10 seconds. So we can't just look at the 100 meters and say, since that's bigger than these two, Han automatically ran faster than them. Instead, what we have to do is we have to get their rate of speed for all of those. So we want to find their rate of speed using the same amount of time, right? So the easiest way to do that is just to look at meters per second. We know that Lynn was 4 meters per second. Diego is 5.5 meters per second. So how many meters per second is Han? Well, we have to do the same thing we did with the others. We have to take the number of meters they traveled. In this case, it's 100 for Han. And we have to divide it by the amount of time that he used to travel that distance. So in this case, it was 20 seconds. So when we work that out, we're going to have 100 divided by 20, and that's going to be 5 meters per second. So who was faster? Was Han faster than Lynn? 5 meters per second compared to Lynn, which had 4 meters per second. Han was faster. Okay, so we can say Han was faster than Lin at 5 meters per second. And then compared to Diego, Diego was 5.5 meters per second. That's actually a little bit faster. Okay, so we'll add this in, but was slower than Diego, who traveled 5.5 meters per second. All right, hope this makes sense. Don't forget to check out the lesson summary.